Alright, I can't believe I'm actually doing this, but I wanted to make this video, just a short one, for a review on a book series because it's coming to an end by Sebastian de Castel, who's doing the Spellslinger series, and to prove that's the latest book in the series, Queenslayer, which is friggin' fantastic because somehow makes a 13-year-old girl queen of a country. Somehow also it's like if you took the Jupiter Ascending movie where the resurrection thing's there, except that the little girl has the spirit and the knowledge of it's fucking fascinating. And the one thing is the books are fantastic, and in general there they all are right there. But yeah, regardless, we got the piece of news that the next book that's coming out is the final book, and at first I wasn't like really happy with when I heard that because I was just like, this is a magnificent world he's created. This is a brilliant world, and it's huge. And we've only been to certain places in the world, like we've been to his homeland. In one of the books, I think Charmcaster, we went to another city where they're tinkerers and everything. We've been to a Shadow Black temple. And then in the latest book, we go to another land. But we're told that there's more lands out there. And then when you know the last book's coming, the few things that I will say is, I want to see Fenris back in it. I want to see her gambling way of her path come back into it. I do want to see like the romance side of it. So I'm sorry I forgot the character's name. I think it starts with N. Her name in Charmcast. She's the one that's helping him and believes in him, and she has her own friggin' pet, the friggin' dog type thing. I want to see her back in it. I actually want to see Wretches use his friggin' Shadow Black. He has to have a unique power too. All the Shadow Black people have had this unique power, and Wretches. I could just imagine him being this cocky shit like, imagine if he could dissolve into a black mist, reappear, and just. Oh shit, he'd be mongrel. And no more killing scenes of Wretches. Jesus Christ. This. Sebastian, you have tortured us with this series at how you have tortured that poor squirrel cat. But the main point of this video, like, I'm not gonna go further into like the plot and everything, because yeah, you really have to read this series for yourself. The biggest compliment I can give him is if more people took notice of him, his series is capable of being the modern day Harry Potter books. These are books that should be read by everybody. Anybody who read a Harry Potter book, read the Spellslinger series, and I swear to God, everyone would fall in love with it, and money will be thrown his friggin' way for a movie. Easy friggin' hell. But this is the topic I wanted to get on because obviously, despite the fact that I want the world explored more, I want to explore all these lands, I want to see how far I can push it. I looked at my book series, and just on that topic first, it didn't occur to me that 90% of my book collection, and this is only part of my book collection, this one here, is female. And the last male author I got in this collection, before him, and Sebastian would have clearly heard of him, Christopher Paolini, who did the Aragon series. I got that box set fully signed by him when I met him, and I was just realizing, damn, this is a female-owned field. You can't cry feminism when the women are leading the authors friggin' charge in terms of fantasy, urban fantasy, and sci-fi. They're really dominating this field. And this is where the video is going. If you'd asked me 5 to 10 years ago, what my favorite series is and my point of view on series that just keep going and exploring the world, I would have told you the longer the better. And if I'd been reading Spell like Singer, if the last book was coming out 5-10 years ago, I would have been extremely pissed off with it ending. That and I can base this. If you've heard of the author Sherilyn Kenyon, up 5 years ago, she was my favorite author. I held her above all others, and yeah, all her books up till now, there, even the manga up there, and one of the comics. Yeah, really big on her because the beauty of her books is you're fully immersed in this world. You know everything about this world, and then a problem came up because the problem with Sherilyn Kenyon's series, and it's why I've practically dropped it at this point, is back in the day, like with when her book Acheron came out, we knew that the series. We knew basically how it was going to end. It's like, oh shit, if Ash goes down to fucking hell and meets his mum gets free, destroys Apollo and Artemis, and without them, the moon and sun are destroyed, and all of existence destroyed. It's like we knew the end game. And the more and more the series has gone on, it's just like the amount of things that can destroy the universe and lead to the end of all things. There has to be over 10 things now. There's Nick, there's the dragons, there's friggin' Apollo infected. There's so much friggin' shit, and it's got to the point where I'm sick of it. It's turned into multiple timelines, and I actually liked one of her alternate timelines, but then it became confusing with time and everything. Just how much time were they jumping between? Then there's the question of the age of certain characters. Somehow, one of the characters, Simi, who ages basically 1 human year every 1,000 years, has somehow fallen in love, gotten married, had a kid, and her kid's old enough to be an adult alongside everyone else's kids in the future. But wouldn't her kid take like thousands of years to friggin' it's Sherilyn Kenyon's world is breaking itself apart because it's been going on for so long. And I hate saying that because I still love the world. It's friggin' amazing. But there was, and this is what changed my mind. There's one other author here who changed my mind. If I can just clear some books out of the way. If you see in there, that's Rochelle Mead. And she did the Vampire Academy series. And it finished on a average note. It was like people were pretty satisfied. I was so-so. I thought they could have done more with it. And then she brought out the Bloodline series, which is technically the sequel to Vampire Academy. And that series went on for 6 books. 6 books. And it was better than Vampire Academy. Bloodlines for me was better because I loved Adrian's character, and Sydney, she could basically start off from scratch and explore this whole other new world with the alchemists and everything. It brought everything together. It showed Adrian growing. It showed all the other characters growing. It still featured Rose and that in it. It had everything going for it, and by the time I read the last book, The Ruby Circle, her final book of the series, we're not going to see any more of the series. By the time I finished reading the last page, I was like, I wasn't crying, I wasn't smiling. It was just like, I felt complete. I felt absolutely complete upon reading the last. It's either a last chapter or epilogue that she does, which just shows them living together. And like if you told me what the ending was before reading the series, I wouldn't even believe you, because how Adrian's character ends, you just don't see it in his character at the beginning of Bloodlines, and that's after he's already been in the friggin' Vampire Academy series. You don't see that Adrian in him. He transforms so much And that series Rochelle Mead's series made me realize one thing. Sometimes the way I'm trying to think of the best way to say this for you, Sebastian, how it made me think. It's easier to just make an ongoing series than it is to finish a series. I think that's my view personally. I think it takes real talent, a great mind to actually finish a series. And if you want any proof on that, look at the Game of Thrones season 8. They had no idea what the fuck they were doing. Without George R. R. Martin's books, these two directors had no goddamn idea what they were doing, and they screwed it up. It's talent, and that's what I'm most looking forward to, Sebastian, for your next book, is when you release it. I'm going to be day one, pre-order. I'm going to bloody pick it up day one. I'm going to finish it in 24 hours like I do all of your goddamn books. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Because if the quality of your writing up to this point, the world you've created, how you've handled the characters, how you've shown them following their own paths, and how Kellen has evolved from his first book up to now, the confidence that he's got. I'm really looking forward to see how you end this series. Whether you do a spin-off series or not, God knows. But, yes. It's been a good journey, and the only thing I can say to end this video, my name's Adam O'Garvey, and I live in Sydney, Australia, and I do hope, I don't know if it's Dimmicks. We have a bookstore, Dimmicks, out here. We got a worldwide bookstore called Kinakuya in the city of Sydney. And we got 2 conventions that go through multiple cities. One's called Supernova, Super with an A, and Oz Comic Con, which is basically like Australian version of your the American Comic Cons. One of these groups needs to get in contact with Sebastian de Castel and just be like, we want to bring you out here. You're doing your last book, or by then you might have finished the series. It's like, come out here, meet your fans, go down to Bondi Beach, surf a wave, do something. You hey, we're Australians. Everyone loves us. That's the best way I can say it. I've been overseas a few times, and everyone loves Australians, no matter what country we go to. So it's always good to have people from other countries come here, and it's like we're drooling over them, and they don't understand why. But that's just what I want to say. It's a great book series, and I'm gonna I understand why you're ending it, and I can't wait to see it. Thank you, Sebastian.